Every train on Earth rolls on a contact patch smaller than a coin, 1 square centimeter between motion and disaster. The first rail wheel appeared 4 centuries ago, and how it turned friction into freedom is a story rarely told. In the dim galleries of 17th century minds, the future of movement rested on a circle of wood and iron. Deep beneath Kilkerran, miners rolled coal carts on crude timber rails, their wheels hewn from oak and crowned with a narrow iron band. The surviving artifact, about 13 inches across and 5 inches wide, bears the scars of labor, an iron tire hammered and riveted to its wooden core, resisting the splintering force of stone and time. No inventor's name survives, only the ledger entries of the Coalbrookdale pits, and the brief mention in a bishop's diary of iron-capped wheels carrying the lifeblood of industry. Each turn of these wheels answered a stubborn problem: how to carry weight without grinding wood to dust. The iron rim did not erase friction, but it stretched the life of every wheel, buying days and weeks before the next repair. Yet even this hybrid, wood inside and iron outside, could not withstand the pounding loads that the coming age of steam would demand. These early wheels, humble and anonymous, set a challenge that would echo through every forge and workshop for centuries: how to turn the old enemy of friction into the promise of motion. On the morning of February 21st, 1804, Richard Trevithick's Penny Darren locomotive rolled out from the ironworks, its cast-iron wheels pressing into the frost-hardened tram road. This was the first time steam power hauled a true load, 25 tons of iron, 5 men, and a handful of wagons, across 9 miles of Welsh countryside. Trevithick's engine did what no horse or gravity-fed wagon had managed. It moved itself and its burden under its own relentless force. The wheels, cast in iron and bearing the rough marks of their sand molds, carried not just weight, but the hopes of an entire industrial age. Yet every revolution brought new problems to light. The cast-iron wheels, rigid and unforgiving, slipped on the smooth rails when rain or frost coated the track. Hairline cracks traced across the surface after only a few journeys, the metal protesting loads it was never meant to bear. Still, the Penny Darren run proved that a wheel could do more than follow a rail. It could drive a new era forward if only engineers could solve the riddle of traction and endurance. In that first high-pressure trial, the wheel became more than a passive passenger. It became the engine's partner in conquering distance and weight, and it revealed the urgent need for better materials and new designs. John Blenkinsop faced the stubborn limits of friction head-on. In 1811, he patented a solution that sidestepped the problem entirely. Patent number 3850, a rack and pinion drive with a 12-inch pitch. Instead of relying on the smooth grip between wheel and rail, Blenkinsop's design carved a third rail of teeth into the track itself. His locomotive, Salamanca, built in 1812, used a steel pinion to bite into the rack, pulling coal trains across the Middleton Railway with a certainty that pure adhesion could not match. This approach let Salamanca haul loads that would have spun the wheels of Trevithick's engine uselessly on wet iron. But while Blenkinsop's rack system proved reliable on short industrial lines, another vision was taking shape. George Stephenson, working in the North, saw the future in simplicity and scale. He bet on direct adhesion, wheel on rail, and on the power of standardization. At the Rainhill trials in October 1829, Stephenson's rocket averaged 12 miles per hour, peaking at 30 miles per hour on plain rails. The rocket's performance convinced railway builders to settle on a single track width 4 feet 8.5 inches. This standard gauge, rooted in the coal wagon ways of the North, would soon bind the rails of an entire nation together. 2 paths, rack and adhesion, custom and standard, briefly ran side by side, but it was Stephenson's gauge and the promise of ever faster, ever freer motion that won the future. A train wheel does not simply roll, it orchestrates a delicate balance of forces, geometry, and contact so precise that the entire railway depends on it. The secret begins with conicity, a subtle taper, often just 200ths to 400ths built into the wheel's tread. This slight angle means that as a wheel set shifts sideways on the rail, one wheel rides a slightly larger diameter while the other runs smaller. The result is self-steering. Each pair of wheels naturally seeks the center of the track, guiding the train smoothly through curves without slipping or binding. Without this, a cylindrical wheel would wander, risking derailment or grinding itself and the rail to ruin. But geometry alone is not enough. The flange, rising from the inner rim at an angle between 70 and 78 degrees, serves as the final guardian against disaster, catching the rail's inside edge if the wheel set drifts too far. This sharp steel lip rarely touches the rail in normal running. Its presence is insurance, not a crutch. At the heart of it all lies the contact patch, a sliver of steel on steel, no larger than a fingertip, about 1 square centimeter, where the entire burden of the train is focused. Here, rolling friction is transformed, not erased. The wheel glides forward with a resistance 100 times less than sliding. Every revolution, every journey across continents, depends on this silent, invisible partnership of shape and force. In the world of rails, freedom is engineered, 1 fraction of a degree, 1 square centimeter at a time. In 1855, a new force entered the world's workshops: Bessemer steel. For the first time, molten iron could be transformed almost instantly into a metal both hard and tough, with a uniform grain running through every inch. This was not just a better material, it was a revolution in what wheels could do. Forged from a single billet, the steel train wheel shrugged off the old limits of iron and wood. Its structure, free of hidden seams or brittle joints, carried axle loads that would have shattered its predecessors. Where cast iron cracked under the hammering of speed, steel flexed and rebounded, holding its shape through thousands of miles. Railway records from the 1860s show axle loads climbing from 9 to over 20 tons and express trains doubling their speed within a decade. The wheel's rim, machined to a precise conical profile, gripped the rail with a confidence unknown before. Every revolution now meant less loss to friction, less heat wasted, more distance conquered. The Bessemer process did not simply make more wheels, it made the railway itself scalable, capable of spanning continents and binding cities. In the heart of every steel wheel, the physics of motion found its perfect partner: strength without weight, endurance without compromise. Steel wheels still carry 75% of global freight. In every silent revolution, their legacy endures, reminding us that progress often rides on the quiet genius beneath our feet. Thank you for watching.